You ever see someone get pulled over and just know something bad's about to happen, not because of what they did, but because of who they are, what they look like, what they represent? That's what happened to Major Celeste Warren just outside of Garland County, Arkansas, on a highway slick with rain and silence. The night was cold, the kind that slips into your bones and makes your hands tighten on the steering wheel. Celeste sat straight-backed in her Army SUV, shoulders squared, jaw still uniform spotless. Her nameplate, Warren, was aligned down to the millimeter, badge hanging from her collar. Rank Major. Strategic Clearance Tier 4. She had just left a classified training briefing 3 hours north, still in full tactical gear, still on duty. She didn't listen to music, didn't talk on the phone, just the low hum of the engine and the slow rhythm of breath regulated calm, like every combat drill had trained her to be. Then whoop whoop. Blue and red lights in the rearview mirror. No sudden moves. Signal on. Pull over. Hands at 10 and 2. Engine off. Collar straightened. The cruiser behind her didn't stop at a normal distance. It pulled up inches from her bumper high beams, flooding through the back window. Doors opened. Footsteps fast, angry, deliberate. A man's voice barked out, "Driver out of the vehicle." Now. She didn't move. "Sir," she answered clearly. "I am a United States Army officer, Major Celeste Warren. I'm in uniform. I'm on active. I don't care who you say you are," he snapped. "Step out." Another officer, younger, hesitated by the passenger side. His name tag read Doyle. He looked confused, scanning her vehicle, noticing the badge, the gear, the fatigue lines around her eyes, the silence, the tension. He stepped closer quietly. "Major, I think there's been a miscommunic." The older cop cut him off. "Shut it, Doyle." Celeste opened the door slowly, stepped out, hands raised, calm, methodical, just like they taught her when dealing with hostiles. But she wasn't in a war zone, not technically. The senior officer stepped forward, Sergeant Clint Raleigh. Thick neck, buzz-cut black gloves. He walked like a man used to being obeyed even when he's wrong. "You got ID on you?" he asked, eyes narrowed. She nodded slowly. "Yes, sir. It's around my neck. Clearance badge, ID, and orders." He stepped in close. Too close. Grabbed the badge. Ripped it off. "What the hell is this strategic ops?" he scoffed, waving the badge like a toy. "You expect me to believe you got this level of clearance with that accent and that face?" Celeste didn't flinch. Didn't even blink. But something inside her twitched. A flicker in her throat. A sting behind her eyes that she immediately pushed down. And that's when it happened. A bystander across the road, an older black man named Reuben Lewis, pulled out his phone, filmed the whole thing. He shouted, "That's Major Warren. I saw her speak at the memorial last year. Y'all need to back off." Raleigh turned eyes like daggers. "You want to get detained too, old man?" Reuben hesitated, hand frozen in midair, then slowly lowered the phone, stepped back with a soft, "I'm sorry, ma'am," under his breath. Celeste didn't look at him, but her left hand curled into a tight fist hidden behind her thigh. A silent thank you, and a deeper sorrow, because she'd seen that same look before, years ago. In a flash it all came back. The boot camp barracks, her first year, that same look on another young cadet's face, frozen with fear after defending her when a drill instructor mocked her skin tone during a field debrief. "You ain't camouflaged, Warren. You are the forest." Laughter. Then silence. Then a young Latina trainee spoke up. "Sir, that's not okay." And just like that, she was gone the next day. Reassigned. Her eyes, when they said goodbye, were just like Reuben's, now tight with regret. Apologetic. Powerless. Celeste had buried that memory deep. But tonight Raleigh had dragged it back out with every word. He wasn't done. "You military types think you're above the law," he spat, pacing. "Out here I'm the chain of command." She didn't speak, but her jaw clenched. Breath shallow, her hands still raised open. Behind Raleigh, the younger officer Doyle looked more nervous now. He stepped forward. "Sarge, I don't think she's a threat." "Look at the uniform," I said. "Back off, Doyle." And that was it. No more warning. The sound cracked through the night like a nail splitting wood. One shot, directly into her chest. She staggered, fell, but didn't scream. Her body slumped to the pavement. Her right-hand fingers, still curved in formation, pressed faintly against the wound, not clutching, not trembling, just holding the line. She wasn't moving, but she wasn't gone. The shot had torn through the left side of her vest, missed her heart by half an inch. But what it didn't miss was everything else. The silence after was like a dam breaking. Sirens flared from 3 blocks out. More headlights cut through the dark. Raleigh stood frozen, gun still out. Doyle knelt beside Celeste, hands shaking, voice cracking into his radio. "Shots fired, officer involved. We need EMS now." Celeste's eyes opened barely. She wasn't panicked. She was focused. Her lips moved, but no sound came. Just the smallest motion camera. Doyle grabbed her badge from the ground, flipped it over. There, embedded in the corner, was a tiny pinhole lens, recording everything, every insult, every threat, every refusal to listen. And at that moment, the flood started. Within 12 hours, the footage had hit internal military networks. Then it leaked. Then it spread wildfire fast. Every network, every phone screen, every television. Major Celeste Warren, unarmed, calm, respectful, shot on duty in uniform. Hashtags bloomed. Her salute was enough. Strategic, not suspicious. Major Warren. And as it spread, the country watched something else unravel. Because Clint Raleigh wasn't just a racist cop with a gun, he was part of a pattern that had been tolerated, excused, explained away. Until now. Garland County Sheriff's Office issued a statement, then tried to walk it back. The mayor stammered through a press conference, sweating through his collar. Military police stepped in federal level, but none of that mattered as much as what happened in the hospital. Celeste awoke 2 days later. The room was dim, sterile. A faint beeping traced her pulse. The nurse entered, clipboard in hand, eyes wide. "Ma'am, they said you might not." Celeste raised her hand, slow but deliberate, pointed to her uniform folded neatly on the chair beside the window. "I need that." "Ma'am, it's still blood-stained. I said I need that uniform." The nurse didn't argue again. 15 minutes later, Celeste stepped into the corridor, dressed not in hospital gown, but in the same uniform she was shot in. Still stitched, still torn. Every officer in the building stopped when they saw her. No salute, no applause, just silence. Because no one could understand how someone could wear the very symbol they were attacked for and still wear it like it meant something. But that's who she was. She was the uniform. Meanwhile, in a black site far off the grid, Clint Raleigh sat alone in a gray room. No clock, no door handle, no rights. His hands were cuffed to a cold steel bar bolted into the floor. Across from him stood a woman in a federal suit. No badge, no name tag, just authority. "You're not under civilian jurisdiction anymore, Mr. Raleigh," she said, voice like polished glass. "You're a breach in national defense protocol, a threat variable." He laughed, dry, bitter, cracked. "You think I give a damn about her clearance badge? She ain't special. She just played the game better." Silence. The agent didn't blink. "We didn't detain you because you shot a woman, Mr. Raleigh. We detained you because you compromised a strategic asset and collapsed deterrence credibility across 3 national security layers." "I did what I was trained to do," he snapped. "No, you did what you were allowed to do. Until now," he sneered. "So what? You gonna kill me? Disappear me? Think that'll stop people from thinking like me?" "No," she replied quietly. "But it'll stop people from acting like you." Raleigh's voice cracked then. Not in anger, in fear. "You can't do this. I have rights." You had rights," she said, flat and final. And then she left. In the days that followed, the Department of Defense rewrote entire sections of protocol. From that moment on, every uniform was to be treated as high value until proven otherwise. Every stop involving military personnel would be monitored live. And any aggression toward active duty officers, especially those of color, would be classified under national security breach, not civil rights. Strategic integrity. Celeste never gave interviews. But one day she did appear quietly at a training academy in Fort Irwin. She stood before a room full of new recruits. No medals, no fanfare, just the same repaired uniform, dust on her boots. She said only one thing. "This uniform isn't sacred because it's military. It's sacred because I bled in it when they forgot what it meant." No one applauded. They just stood, some with tears in their eyes, some with their fists curled tight like hers once was. And the world changed, not with a roar, but with a recalibration. Now here's the part you won't see on TV. Some of the people who mocked her. They posted apologies. Quiet ones. Others, they stayed quiet, turned away, pretended they never joined in. And a few still screamed about overreach and special treatment. But deep down they knew that uniform was no longer just a symbol, it was a mirror. And the next time they saw it, they'd have to decide what it showed them. So what do you see, a target or a shield, a threat or a protector? You decide. What do you think? Who was right? Who was wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe in justice, like, share, and subscribe. This story deserves to be heard.